The Washington Post just dropped a bombshell on Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and they reveal something that I'm sure they both wanted to keep secret. So in this video, we're gonna go over that bombshell report. But before we dive into that, the Washington Post is not the only one who dropped a bombshell report on Elon Musk and Donald Trump, because Trump voters themselves are saying that they're not liking how close Elon is to Donald Trump. So let's take a look at this article that talks about this in more detail. Trump voters in focus group slam Elon Musk's growing influence. I didn't vote for him. Voters in a focus group who supported President-elect Donald Trump universally said that the incoming president's close relationship with Elon Musk is not a good thing. Axios teamed up with Engagia/Sagio for a focus group of 14 swing state voters who all voted for Trump in 2016 and some of whom swung back his way for the 2024 election. The report, published on Friday, revealed none of the voters were willing to call Musk's relationship to Trump a positive. Musk endorsed Trump and was a major supporter of his campaign. Trump has announced that Musk will help lead what he's calling the Department of Government Efficiency, which is meant to look at cutting back on government waste. Of the 14 swing state voters polled through 2 online panels, 12 of them were familiar with Musk being an advisor to Trump. 5 called it a bad thing, while 7 didn't know how to respond, but none would describe the relationship as good. All 14 voters supported Trump in 2016, then swung to President Joe Biden in 2020. In 2024, 5 swung back to Trump, another 5 backed Vice President Kamala Harris, and another 4 voted for a third party. I think it'll favor his Tesla company, and he'll get the majority of the breaks, and just by throwing a couple $100 million on Trump's campaign, they're going to look the other way. And that's what George L. out of Phoenix, Arizona said. Pierre D. out of Las Vegas, Nevada said Musk is very good at business, but not someone who earned a single vote. He's very obviously good at business, but I didn't vote for him, the voter said, questioning what Musk's agenda will be. There's nothing, in my opinion, in Elon Musk's history that shows that he's got the best interest of the country or its citizens in mind, Blair P. out of Oxford, Michigan said. According to Axios, the 5 who called the Musk-Trump relationship bad are a mix of 2024 Trump voters, Harris voters, and third-party voters. The group also gave their opinions on another controversial advisor to Trump, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The once independent presidential candidate has been tapped by Trump to serve as his Health and Human Services Secretary, stirring up backlash due to Kennedy's longtime criticism of various vaccines. Only 1 out of the 14 voters described Kennedy's association with Trump as a good thing, while 4 called it a bad thing. And that 1 voter who described it as good predicted Kennedy can't do any worse than anybody else has ever done. I don't know about you, but I think that's probably going to come back to bite him. So yeah, I think it's great that these Trump voters are finally getting a taste of their own medicine and seeing that, yeah, Trump doesn't really care about you and is only in it for the money and staying out of prison. And that's very clear based on his cabinet picks. But now that we've gone over Trump supporters starting to turn on Elon, let's take a look at this new bombshell report that the Washington Post just dropped on Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And here is that article, inside the Republican false flag effort to turn off Kamala Harris voters. Muslims in Michigan began seeing pro-Israel ads this fall, praising Vice President Kamala Harris for marrying a Jewish man and backing the Jewish state. Jews in Pennsylvania, meanwhile, saw ads from the same group with the opposite message. Harris wanted to stop U.S. arms shipments to Israel. Another group promoted Kamala's bold progressive agenda to conservative-leaning Donald Trump voters, while a third filled the phones of young liberals with videos about how Harris has abandoned the progressive dream. Black voters in North Carolina were told that Democrats wanted to take away their menthol cigarettes, while working-class white men in the Midwest were warned that Harris would support quotas for minorities and deny them Zion nicotine pouches. What voters had no way of knowing at the time was all of the ads were part of a single $45 million effort created by political advisors to Tesla founder Elon Musk, who had previously worked on the presidential campaign of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, according to a presentation about the group's efforts obtained by the Washington Post. The project, funded with anonymous donations, micro-targeted messages across the battleground states, often with ads that appeared to be something that they were not, a tactic the organizers sometimes referred to internally as false positives. With digital spots, direct mail, text messages, influencer marketing, and mobile billboards, the overall project was a high-tech experiment in misdirection. And this is an old political tactic that has been sharpened in recent decades with increasingly precise targeting techniques. Ads tested better if Muslims felt that they were seeing a message meant for Zionists, Bernie Bros felt that they were hearing from the far left, and Zion Bros felt that they were hearing from activists who wanted a world without gas-powered vehicles. In other words, a ban on fracking and affordable housing for undocumented Americans, policies which Kamala Harris did not actually support during her campaign. The worst part is Kamala Harris talks out both sides of her mouth, said one of the ads, which was designed by Trump supporters to look as if it was advocating for leftist priorities like free healthcare and break on tuition. The entire effort grew out of research by Building America's Future, a conservative political nonprofit that was founded during the first Trump administration by Republican consultants Janera Peck and Phil Cox. With others at P2 Public Affairs, Peck and Cox, former advisors to DeSantis, were top strategists for a separate effort, America PAC, the super PAC funded by Elon Musk to support Trump. Musk donated to Building America's Future in 2022, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal. The group's leaders have declined to comment on their donors. Here's a little bit extra information, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. The effort worked in concert with a separate project by the Trump campaign to depress turnout for Harris, knowing that Trump would be unlikely to drastically expand his vote totals. And here it says Trump's total went up slightly while Harris dropped about 8 million votes. The entire goal of the campaign was to push her numbers down, said a top Trump campaign advisor. Now there is a lot more information in this article, but I think we're going to stop here. If you'd like to read it, then definitely go check it out, it's worth the read. But personally, I don't think that this is surprising at all, and just adds to the list of things that we were guessing happened to help swing the election towards Trump. But I think that this shows that we have a real problem in this country because one, this should just be illegal. How is it that there can be nonprofits creating ads as if they were supporting a candidate when in fact they were targeting a very specific subset of people to not get them to vote? But the other problem that this shows is that people will just believe anything that they see on an ad regardless of how true it is. We have a serious education problem in this country, and that's only going to be made worse once Trump eliminates the Department of Education when he's elected. Now I know we're all exhausted from the long fight that we just had, but it's not over. We need to keep fighting for a better future because if we don't, then who will?